Anjalee, a lot to get to. Of course, the Pfizer news yesterday had investors quite excited, but this comes as infections here in the U.S. on the rise in 43 states, 7-day rolling average of cases at a new record.
That's correct, Miles. And unfortunately, we're starting to see this as more of a norm where we surpass 100,000 cases per day. And that's been happening for more than a week now. And it's really kind of along the lines of exactly what health experts had been hinting at and saying would happen. But the fact that it is happening now and there is no change to sort of the national strategy to address this remains a concern. So looking at it from that vantage point, the news about treatments and vaccines is ever more important. We did hear yesterday about Pfizer, of course, telling us that they have some strong results from their vaccine so far. But again, this is just their information. The experts are still waiting on more data and other information to sort of back it up. And we also need to wait for that observation period to end before we see any of that and before they go on to apply for an EUA. If they do, however, they also face significant hurdles there when it comes to the distribution as well as administration. Again, the Pfizer vaccine is a new platform that has never been commercially approved. It is also going to require 2 shots. So that is going to require some extra support when it comes to tracking who gets this vaccine and how they're going to be called in for a follow-up, as well as the ultra cold storage that's required, how that will work out. There's some experts saying it might not be possible to get this vaccine at a large chain pharmacy the way you do the flu vaccine. So all of that waiting to be seen. Meanwhile, Eli Lilly out late yesterday with an emergency use authorization of its antibody treatment. That's the one that I believe Chris Christie received, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. And it is the first one to receive that emergency use designation. So, it was a pretty competitive space. Regeneron is another one out there with an antibody cocktail. That's the one the president received. And so this sort of shrinks the market a little bit, some analysts are saying. But as of right now, it is good news to have at least something out there in the antibody space, because the patients that it best serves are those that are just getting into the hospital, and it could help reduce that strain on hospitalizations right now, as well as serves as a bridge for those who cannot take vaccines. It has basically defensive properties that could be useful for them. So as it stands right now, some really positive news, but also, again, with the Eli Lilly, some distribution concerns and limited supply concerns. They did receive this EUA after already hitting some snags earlier last month with questions about whether or not it could actually be helpful, as well as some issues in a manufacturing plant in New Jersey. So all put together, all told, good news with a little bit of caution as to how all of this will actually be impacting the population. Miles?